Alright, so welcome back to part 2 of my baseball story. I apologize. I didn't realize that my camera cuts off video at 30 minutes flat, and it actually cut off on like a perfect cliffhanger. So this will be a continuation, as long as we can go, of my baseball story. We had gone all the way up through my high school career into right as I was beginning my college career, and now we're going to build from there, completely raw, uncut, explaining it. Not a lot of description, just this is what it was. So, as I was saying right before my camera cut off at 30-minute mark, basically I got back to school after being very successful all winter, and I've never battled adversity with baseball before. I showed up at campus after doing live at-bats right before, where I went 21 batters and I had 19 strikeouts. I was feeling so confident and ready to go to dominate the year. I was ready to go. Like, everything about that, I knew that I had it going. I was locked and loaded. I'd never been sharper in my life. And then I get to school and everything starts going downhill a little bit. So at first, my first outing, it was 3 innings, and I faced, I don't remember exactly how many batters, but I had 7 strikeouts and I walked 3. So I wasn't happy about the 3 walks. As the winter kept progressing, I noticed in catch play, I started sailing the ball a little bit more. I would overthrow my partner or just throw like not good throws. And that wasn't really common, and it was happening more and more frequently over time. So first week, 7 strikeouts, 3 walks. Second week, it was like 4 walks, 6 strikeouts. The week after was like 4 strikeouts, 6 walks. And it just got worse and worse to the point where eventually, like, as the season went on, I was walking like everybody I ever faced. And it'd be like a fluke if I got an out. So basically what happened was, as the year went on, everything continued to spiral worse and worse. People were trying to help me. I was trying to figure it out myself. And this was the first time I ever really didn't know what was going on. Like, I felt in complete control all the way up to that point. And then one day I just realized, like, I can't feel the ball in my hand. And I didn't really know what was going on. I had people around me telling me I was overthinking it too much. So I went on this deep dive of trying to understand the mental aspect of baseball, which I'd never really had issues with. I've always been pretty stubborn, headstrong, and believing in myself. Like, I just know that I outworked the guy next to me and I'm going to beat him. And that's really always been my mindset. And at this point, that really wasn't working. And I didn't know why. And like I said, I'm pretty stubborn. So I was like, all right, well, if it's mental, I got to figure it out. And I was very confident that I had it figured out mentally. So I go throw more, and it's just like not working. So I go even deeper, and I figure out, all right, what is like a mental cause of this? And people said the yips. So I dive into the yips, and I'm like, all right, I got to beat the yips. This is what I'm dealing with. It's definitely not anything physical. Now, mind you, I've never really had any physical issues to this point. My one thing that I did notice was, after swim season, I would sort of lose my arm slot for a couple weeks, and that would be like a little bit where I was erratic with command, and then all of a sudden I'd be back. Come to find out, this is an injury called thoracic outlet syndrome. Now, this is the same injury that plagued Steven Strasburg, Matt Harvey, and Chris Archer. Steven Strasburg has not pitched good ever since he retired. I mean, we're talking 2019 MVP to then like never playing again. That it's a really tough injury. Fortunately, being a swimmer and baseball player, I got kind of screwed because it's common in rock climbers, swimmers, and baseball players only. So, kind of was asking for it, unfortunately. It is what it is. Can't change the past. However, I didn't find this out till after my freshman season. And that whole time, I was thinking, all right, well, it's just mental. And my coach would throw me out there, have me do live at-bats for like 2 innings, and I'd end up throwing like 80 pitches because I couldn't throw any strikes. And he just let me ride or die out there. And I got in this bad habit of like yanking pitches and throwing them high and sailing them, and just not like being a complete shell of what I used to be. And I think that was a pretty detrimental piece to what continued to happen, because now it's like that's what I do when I pitch. And I remember hitting an all-time low that following summer where I was playing summer ball, and one time I tried to throw the ball to a kid and I literally hit my own foot. And I was like 5 feet away from the guy. Like, I could have reached out my arm, he could have reached out his arm, and he could have grabbed the ball. I hit my own foot that far away. And that was when I was like, all right, I got to figure this out. So I went and saw a doctor, a specialist in Boston for thoracic outlet syndrome, confirmed I had the issue, did all the therapies necessary. I had to get Botox injected into my neck and my pec, and that was not a fun experience. But fortunately, I opted to not do the surgery where they remove a rib from the first rib in your rib cage that can sort of block it. It's like a 50-50 chance on if it actually works, and it's also just a pretty invasive surgery that I didn't feel like I needed to do. I could still throw hard. I just lost feel of the ball, and my future in baseball was looking very in jeopardy at the time. So I just knew, like, it's not worth taking a rib out for possibly this injury, and it's not even a guarantee that it'll work. And I can still throw hard, and I may as well just keep throwing, and hopefully it works out. So from that point forward, it was like, all right, I want to stay in baseball. I got to find a way to do it. So what I started doing was I looked in the mirror and I was like, what am I good at? I've always liked to video edit. I've always liked to make cool videos, make cool stuff. I remember when I was little, I used to like doing Lego stuff where I would watch this. I don't know if it was like Robot Chicken or like there was like Lego people that would do Lego videos, and I really liked how they would do them, so I tried to do it in my head. Like, there was no camera involved or anything like that. I would just like set up Lego people and pretend like I was doing a video. And then it came into, I used to do a ton of blitzball, and I watched people playing blitzball and doing blitzball videos. So I tried to make a blitzball channel, and that's actually the channel that you're on right now. I totally rebranded it over time, but this used to be a blitzball channel that never uploaded any videos. And I filmed a couple, never edited them, and never put them out there. But I had always enjoyed it, and I knew that with the invention of TikTok, the invention of some of these shorter form things, I could do that to start and then build from there. So that's where I began. Now I'm obviously building into some more long form stuff. And I knew that this would help extend my baseball career in the terms of being within the game, even if I'm not playing. So I started doing that as a sophomore. I didn't really have a title or anything for it. I was still just under my name. And sophomore year was the year that 60 ERA guy became a thing. So it's my sophomore year. I'm pretty stubborn. I probably shouldn't have played. I was undergoing the Botox treatments while playing, and I ended up putting up probably the worst season of my entire life. Well, definitely the worst season of my entire life. I had a 60 ERA. I walked like everybody. It was like you took what I was doing in the live at bats during the midweeks that freshman year, and you just put it out on an actual stage in the college baseball season. That's how bad it was. I walked 20 batters in 3 innings, and it was just awful. There was nothing good about it. I hardly like to even think about it. But I came up with the name 60 ERA guy from that because I remember getting a report from my coach at the end of the season. Like, there's always feedback at the end of the year, and they go through your stats, everything. And I remember seeing that 60 under ERA, and it was like the perfect 60. And there was no like decimals or anything. It was just 60 flat. And I was like, you know what? This is my career defining moment. I want people to look back one day and see, why does he call himself 60 ERA guy when I'm in pro ball, 1 ERA, doing really good. And that was sort of the vision. I'm not saying it's impossible still. I still think it's possible. But that was where it came from, and we'll see how the name grows. If it doesn't, it doesn't, but I'm going to keep it for now. And basically, From that point forward, I just had full faith that I was going to make a comeback, and that was the start of it. Changing my name and then making it like a comeback page where I'm just documenting what I'm doing, trying to get myself healthy, doing fun stuff, edits of baseball players because I like doing that, and just making content that little me would have wanted to watch. And that's been the whole vision from the beginning. I sort of took all the time that I would be away from the field, focused on why can't I figure it out, into making content. And that was a really healthy decision for myself because it wasn't me beating up on myself. It was just me channeling my energy into something else productive that I'd like to do for my future. And that actually helped me with baseball. You didn't really see it much in the stats, but I was having way more fun at the field. At one point, I really just didn't enjoy baseball at all. I was so upset going to the field every day because it was just demoralizing not being able to do what I once was able to do. And this sort of revamped myself, brought life back into myself. Didn't show up on the stat sheet any of my years in college. My last season, last year, prior to the season, I did have a little bit of interest for possibly getting drafted. It kind of died out pretty quick when I didn't pitch the first 2 weekends. I still have no idea why I didn't pitch the first 2 weekends. Any buzz that I had going kind of died out after the preseason when I didn't really get anything during the season because I wasn't putting up numbers. So I went out, I had fun. I put together a couple really good starts at the end of the season that made me feel like I was pitching again in high school, like that same sort of level of success, but a little bit higher of a walk rate. I was pretty thrilled about that. My last outing, I actually had 0 walks, which was cool. And just overall, it was trying to build something beyond me. And once that injury really struck me, that was when my mindset shifted towards wanting to be someone that helps others. Like, that's been a key part of my life ever since I was a kid. Helping others is something I've always wanted to do. I mean, my goal when I was a little kid was I wanted to go to the University of South Carolina, be a biochemical engineer, cure cancer, be an MLB Hall of Famer, and then go right off into happily ever after. That was my whole vision. I just was a firm believer that I could do these things, and obviously they were pretty lofty goals, and I feel like what I've done so far isn't too far off. Obviously the engineering part's a little off, but that was just sort of what I believed that I could do. I was very ambitious. I believe that I still can do a lot of big things, and I'm not going to change my mindset on that. But that injury's tough. Thoracic outlet syndrome is not a fun injury to deal with. And now I plan to use what I've learned to help others in any way that I can so that they can achieve their goals. And I feel like it's more fulfilling that way for me because it just feels selfish to pursue my own physical goals when I'm not 100%, where I could help others pursue their physical goals where they are 100% and multiply what I understand to others and help them grow in their game, and hopefully they pass it on to others, and then somebody ends up in the major leagues. My goal is to hopefully help somebody make it to the major leagues. I don't want anyone to know about who it is or why. I just want to do it to say that I helped somebody and feel that satisfaction of what I understood would work for me, helped somebody else get to that goal that I had, and helped them get to the top. And hopefully I can help plenty of kids do that over time. But my vision as a coach is to do that and help others. And right now I'm focused on coaching. If I can get healthy and feel healthy for an extended period of time, I might try to make an attempt at playing pro. I'm still trying to throw 100 miles an hour just for fun. But that's my new mission, is just trying to help kids get to a new level with their baseball career. Hopefully help somebody reach the professional ranks, and definitely help others reach levels that are honestly life-changing. Like, the difference between a kid throwing 85 and a kid throwing 80 is very dramatic in their career paths in terms of what college they go to, the education level they get, it can be very significant for that kid's future and the way they develop as a human. And I think that being able to help them get to a level where they're throwing hard, they're successful, and not only are they going to get their foot in the door, but they're going to be prepared for what's to come. I feel like I've learned a lot about how college works, how professional ranks work through people I've gotten to know, through experiences that I've had, where I can pass that along to these guys before they've even gotten in the door. And that's my new mission, is just helping others get to the next level and bring positivity to the baseball community. I know there's a lot of people out there right now that are just trying to make a quick buck, make a lot of money. It's not about the market, it's not about the money, it's about the purity of the game. And that's what I truly believe in, is like the best product for a baseball game is the purity of it. There's a reason it's America's pastime. It wasn't about trying to sell you this new big event that everybody's got to go to. It's not about trying to shorten the game. It's not about any of that. It's about the purity of man with a rock versus man with a stick. Who's going to win? And sharpening your tools to be successful at it. And I feel that's the key to baseball. That's why I love the game so much. And that's why I want to help spread what I believe to others. So that's sort of my story, at least as of 2025. Hopefully we can build on this as the future goes. I want to remain in baseball as long as I possibly can and help bring light to others in any way I can, through faith, through baseball, through belief in themselves, encouraging them to believe in themselves and go after what it is they want to achieve, whatever it may be. That's my vision, and that's what I want to do with the rest of my life and help others. So thank you for watching. We'll go back to our regularly scheduled programming. I got some plans for videos on how to improve yourself as a baseball player. Obviously, we're going to still cover prospects, baseball news, all that sort of stuff as we keep going. But that's sort of the mission. And I want to do a lot of fun things in baseball to help baseball players. So thank you for watching. This is my story. This is the story of 60 ERA guy. Thank you for watching, and have a great day.